Hello, BTS lovers. No one expected that the military routine could present so many interesting stories behind the solid walls of the barracks. Who would have thought that hard training, high discipline, and the dynamics of life in Division 5 could involve stories full of emotions and unanswered questions? The big question that now hangs in the air is, who is the mysterious guest who suddenly appears in the middle of Jungkook's rest period? Is he part of the family? A friend? Or is it just a figure that has never been expected? For Jungkook and Jimin, life in Division 5 is more than just an obligation as South Korean citizens. It was a new challenge that they faced with passion and responsibility. Discipline and hard work have become their identity in the barracks, even gaining recognition from seniors and fellow soldiers. Every morning, they wake up earlier than others, making sure that everything goes according to schedule. When the bell rang to start training, their footsteps were already sprightly towards the field. However, military life was not without obstacles. One of the difficult moments occurred when Jungkook's body began to show signs of fatigue. But in the midst of that fatigue, one thing that remains Jungkook's main strength is the support of those around him. Jimin, as BTS fans have always known him, is a caring and attentive figure. In Division 5, this trait has not changed in the least. When Jungkook seems to be struggling, Jimin is always by his side, giving encouragement in a characteristic way. "We've been through a lot in the past, so don't stop here," Jimin once said. In a serious but warm tone, not only Jimin, their teammates are also no less solid. The discipline shown by Jungkook and Jimin was like a fire that spread throughout the division. When someone starts to slow down, they will remember Jungkook's motivational words, "If we stop now, we are only disappointing ourselves." The phrase became a mantra that united the spirit of the team, even in the most difficult moments. However, the main story, which is now of concern to many, happened not on the training ground, but during the break. One cool afternoon, while Jungkook was sitting under a tree with Jimin, an unexpected incident left the entire barracks speechless. A woman, with a firm but hesitant step, was seen approaching the military area. His face was unknown to anyone in the barracks, and his presence instantly sparked whispers among the soldiers. "Who is he?" whispered a soldier to his comrade. "Aren't only certain people allowed in?" Speculation immediately arose. Some suspect the woman is a member of Jungkook's family, perhaps a brother who misses him dearly. Others theorized that he was a representative of an organization with which Jungkook had ties. However, the most surprising theory came from a soldier who said, "What if he's someone who has a special relationship with Jungkook? Maybe someone from his past." Tensions escalated when the woman finally got in front of security officers. After a short talk, he was allowed to enter, but with a strict escort. Meanwhile, Jungkook, who saw this incident from a distance, looked shocked. He turned to Jimin, as if asking for an explanation, though of course Jimin was equally confused. Jungkook shook his head slowly, but there was something in his eyes that indicated that he was remembering something. The curiosity intensified when the woman finally stopped in front of Jungkook. However, before he could say a word, a senior officer called Jungkook to speak privately. Mixed feelings began to envelop Jungkook. Does this woman bring good news? Or is it just something heavy? On the other hand, Jimin was worried. As a friend, he could feel the tension Jungkook felt. However, as a soldier, he knew that there were certain limits that he could not cross. After a few minutes of talking to the senior officer, Jungkook finally returned with a hard-to-decipher expression. His face didn't show happiness, but it didn't show sadness either. When asked by Jimin, Jungkook only replied briefly, "I'll tell you later." Although the incident still holds a big question mark, one thing is certain is how solidarity continues to be maintained in Division 5. Jungkook and Jimin's colleagues are not too pushy to find out the truth behind the woman's figure. They choose to support Jungkook in more subtle ways, such as making sure he remains comfortable and supported in every activity. A few days after the incident, Jungkook finally spoke to Jimin about what really happened. However, the story never really got out of their little circle. Maybe it's his way of maintaining privacy, or maybe it's something too personal to share. This story, although full of mysteries and questions, provides valuable lessons about the importance of support, solidarity, and discipline in the face of challenges. Jungkook and Jimin not only showed toughness as soldiers, but also as individuals who always tried to give their best for those around them. The mystery of the woman's presence not only disturbed the minds of the soldiers in the 5th Division, but also became a hot topic among the military staff who happened to witness the incident. Although no official statement came out, rumors began to spread among them. Some are convinced that the woman carries an important message related to Jungkook's family, while others insist that her visit relates to the entertainment world that was once a big part of Jungkook's life before his military service. Meanwhile, Jungkook remains calm on the outside, but Jimin, as his best friend and the one who best understands his emotions, can sense that something is raging inside Jungkook. When night fell and the atmosphere of the barracks began to calm down, Jimin finally ventured to approach Jungkook, who was sitting outside, staring at the stars scattered in the dark sky. "Do you want to talk about it now?" Jimin asked in a soft voice, making sure that he was not pushy. Jungkook let out a long sigh before finally replying, don't know how to explain this, Jimin. There's so much going on in my mind." Jimin just nodded, giving him space. He knew that whatever Jungkook experienced, his best friend needed time to process it. There is no point in forcing if it will only make him even more burdened. Although the woman's presence leaves many questions, Jungkook doesn't let curiosity or worry get in the way of his duties and responsibilities. The next day, he returned to his usual routine, looking even more excited than before. This is a testament to how professional and resilient Jungkook is in dealing with any situation. Jimin, who is always watching Jungkook's movements, realized something different. "You look more focused today. What happened?" he asked on the sidelines of training. Jungkook just smiled a little and said, "Maybe I just realized how important these moments are. We won't always have this kind of opportunity, Jimin. I want to make the most of every second." That answer, although it sounds simple, carries a deep meaning. There is something that has changed in Jungkook, something that pushes him to keep going, even though there are still unanswered mysteries. While this story seems to end with more questions than answers, there are important lessons we can take. Life, even in the midst of a strict military routine, is always full of surprises and unexpected moments. For Jungkook, the mysterious woman's presence may be a reminder of what really matters in his life. For Jimin and his colleagues in Division 5, it was a lesson in how to support someone without having to know the whole story. And for us, this story is a reminder that behind every seemingly formidable figure, there is always a story that has not yet been revealed. Will this mystery be solved? Or will it remain part of a journey known only to those who experience it? Time will tell. Until then, we can only wonder and marvel at how life continues to bring surprises that we never expected. Division 5 is not just a training ground. It is a place where stories like this are born and inspire many people.